welcome back to the Best of Hours podcast. This is episode 28, the last episode of the 2021-2022 Premier League season. And I'm here with Jay. Jay, what a day of games. I cannot remember a more exciting final day in the Premier League ever in my entire
Mhm,
existence. The big Aguero goal that everybody knows.
mhm.
Sure, that was fantastic. Selfishly fantastic. But today there was so much on the line: relegation battle, top four, Europa League. Who's going to win? Like so much on the line. Talk to me, Jay, because again, I've got this. Obviously, I'm happy, and we'll kind of go through everything. But what were you watching today, and what were you looking forward to, and what were your emotions throughout that 2 hour period?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not about to sit here and lie to you. You know what I was looking forward to. City, Liverpool, both of the games. And I mean, it happened, I feel like, the way the Premier League wanted it to. Uh, both went down to like the very, very end.
Yeah,
Um, and Liverpool was putting pressure on City too, man. I just thought, Loki, I had to take a look at Pep again. Another reflection on him. And it's just like, bro, you're not getting your players ready for the moment like you should. It's the second week in a row. Well, not second week, but second major game in a row where City looked a little rattled. And when it came down to the moment, like, damn, we need another big time player. Luckily, KDB showed who KDB was when they were really close and had to take the lead and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I had to take a look at Pep. Like I said, Liverpool performed pretty well, and it kind of surprised me too because I guess they were thinking that they could take the title, even though they have the whole Champions League final coming up with Madrid. So I was wondering if Klopp was going to come out and play, 100%, and they clearly did. They won the title. They didn't get it. Says a lot. It's just so much, man. I don't want to go too deep into it, but that's what I was looking forward to. Uh, you know, I don't know how you feeling.
no, honestly, I agree with everything you're saying, Jay. Don't get it twisted. At 2-0 down, I'm saying, yo, this guy Pep's got to go. Like honestly, I'm like, yo, I'm yelling this at the screen like, yo, you're a choke artist. I was just, I came into the game with zero expectation of winning. I'll be 100% honest. I know, and I'm not saying like I think we were gonna lose, but like I came in with an expectation, and the reason was everyone was talking about, oh yeah, City are gonna beat Villa. Villa's a good team, bro. That's a motivated Villa team, mainly because of the manager. But I mean, at the end of the day, there was so much going on, right? I mean, Coutinho coming back to, if they beat us, then Liverpool win, and Coutinho's used to be the player there, and the whole Grealish situation of Grealish, leaving Villa, and then Villa upsetting it, like just so many little storylines that I'm like, man, this is just not gonna, it's not gonna be it for us, and we were dominating the game, obviously, and but I was yo, they have their second string goalkeeper in. Pep has to be telling them to get to hit it on target. That was the only issue
Yeah,
we had. There was at
yeah,
one point we were down 2-0 and we had 16
yeah.
shots, one on target.
I will say though, I will say it's not all on Pep because watching the game, watching players like Phil Foden, who has been performing at a very, very high level the whole season. Watching that game though, especially in the closing minutes, he looked rattled. He looked nervous. He looked
Really? This is
wet behind the ears,
this is
and
interesting.
it's like it's like it makes sense. It makes sense. He is a player that's well on his way to become a world class player. We all know that, but he doesn't have enough experience to really compose himself in the moment. And I think you saw it uh, against Madrid. I'm not saying that it was solely on him, but he's the reason why they didn't go to the final. And this game against Villa, he also didn't look composed and unsure of himself in the last few minutes. So yeah, like it's not all on Pep. Pep should get his players ready, but there are also grown men who need to get on the P's and Q's.
There's a couple of things there, Jay. I'll be honest, I really don't agree, but at the same time, I do think you have the popular opinion. I've heard this from a few people now that like I don't know. I think our players have played great for the most part. Even in
Hmm.
the Madrid game, the amount of running that Jesus did today, I get it. He missed a couple sitters. But the amount of running that guy did, knowing that's probably his last game for the team, and he put 120% into that game. Foden running down. I mean, the amount of times he got the ball and dribbled around 3 or 4. Like, I don't know. There's only one player, and I don't even want to name his name because he was the only player I was mad at the entire game. Um, Bro, I was happy with the players. I really was. I mean, even
Hey,
Sterling.
why won't you name that player? I'm curious now.
Well, we just won the Premier League. You know what I mean? It's a positive.
Okay,
I don't want to kind of
okay,
like go in
okay.
on like I don't. I feel it feels a little weird to go in on one player, but this
Okay,
player, in
okay.
my opinion, extremely overrated. Um,
Mm,
and maybe we'll talk about him in a later podcast. I like him to
mm.
actually move on in the summer. I think we get a lot of money for him.
Woo, I like
You,
this.
you probably have a
Woo.
good guess of who it is. I'm not going to spoil it.
Hey, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not even. Like you said, this is a positive podcast. You out here
It's a
for the
positive one.
FPL.
Yeah, yeah.
Shouts to you. Cheers. But yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. That's a later subject for a later
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, there's no way I'm like gonna analyze like a bad performance. We won. Whatever.
Right.
Um, but yeah, bro, I just feel like the players, even in the games where we're supposed to win and we did, and again, even in the Real Madrid game, I think the players gave it everything, bro.
Yeah.
Rodri, how many times have I talked about this guy? He had about a 3-game stint where he was terrible. Other than that, this guy's been one of our best players this season. I believe he scored 7 goals this season as a CDM. That's like
Yes, that's pretty
that's
impressive.
impressive.
That's impressive.
He scored a ton of headers, a ton of goals outside the box, and he puts, dude, what a strike. And there was so, again, this is why I don't think the players were the problem. Look at it. Look at that game for the most part. We got down to the byline and put in a cross 1,000 times that game. The one time we cut it back, Rodri's there open and we score. We never cut it back. Every single cross was in the 6-yard box. We never cut it back to an open man. We finally do that, we score. And here's what I will say: when Pep took off Mahrez and he put on Sterling, I remember that was at 2-0 down.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, get this guy out of my club. Get Pep out. No BS. I'm like, yo, we need another manager. I can't take this guy anymore. He's made a couple weird decisions. He's dude. Like even when he took off Fernandinho in the second half, I'm like, yo, he's been one of our best players. What is going on? I will tell you. I will tell you now. Raheem Sterling's sort of move down the right. Again, I'm not a fan of him on the right. His move down the right and his cross to Gundogan for the first goal is everything. That is the reason we won that game. I will say it again. Raheem Sterling is the reason we won that game. That is the best cross we put in all game, followed by I don't even was it Foden's cross that went to Rodri for the second goal. Those are and then De Bruyne's cross for the third goal. Those 3 crosses.
The FIFA goal. That was a FIFA goal
Yeah,
right
that
there.
was a FIFA goal, 100%. But I must say that again, I love Mars. I think Mars was our top goal scorer. I'm like, why is he coming off? But Pep's made the decision, and the 2 subs have scored, have been pivotal. I don't know, man. It was one of those games where it was just so much relief. That 6-minute period where we went from down 2-0 to winning 3-2.
Is that the biggest title in City's history right now? And the Premier League, I guess you can say.
I would say it's the most pressure we've ever been in, and it not necessarily because of the game. Again, we're playing. Who the hell do you play? Aston Villa. Like it was the fact that we've choked a couple of times a few times
And
this season.
right, and think about the headlines and the storylines. If it was City lost 2
Mm-hmm.
titles, in a 2-3 week span.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and that's excluding the FA
shot
Cup.
exactly.
So and to Liverpool, and people were talking about Liverpool can't do the quadruple anymore. And if there's one team that deserves the quadruple, if there's one team that deserves to win 3 domestic trophies and 1 Champions League, it is Liverpool this season. I mean,
Mm, mm, mm.
who's been closer?
See,
Two games
I
away.
am I am not big on the word. I mean, yeah, I'm not big on the word deserve at all. I don't think
Okay.
anyone deserves anything. You
Until they
earn
get
that,
it.
right?
Got you.
No, you earn it. You earn it. So while Liverpool has shown throughout the whole season that they're a top club and they've been very consistent, I think probably the most consistent club
Yes.
in the world.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Numbers are numbers. They're not the best team on paper, and I mean that's clearly City, especially this year. And
See,
I'm glad that
I don't know
I'm
about that though. Like,
in the
yes,
PL.
okay,
It's in
but
PL, right?
just in general, like, think about this, Jay. And what a lot of it has to do with is, sure, I think the managers have different styles, like we've talked about
Hmm.
last week. But it's also the front office, bro. Think about our last three transfer windows. Just you have to think about them, right? Like, I don't even know if we got anyone last January. In the summer, we overspent 40 million to get Jack Grealish, who we played out of position and who didn't play in our biggest game today. And then in January, we bought a
That's
player that we're not going to see until next season. Versus the three transfer windows that Liverpool had. And Liverpool's, and again, this is a club, right? It's the club, it's the manager, it's the front office, it's the owners who are putting up the money, it's the players. Everything goes into these games, everything goes into these seasons. I think Liverpool overall, if you look at from top to bottom, have had the better just overall season. Sure, we won the Premier League. We choked away a lot, Jay. We choked away. We lost to West Ham in the Carabao. We didn't even try
see
in the
see
FA Cup.
I think you are being premature, and I say that because the Champions League final has not been determined yet. So you're trying to tell me that Liverpool has had the better season in City when this can
When it go,
happen.
yeah,
They've already lost the Premier League title. City has that.
yeah.
If they lose the Champions League final, that means they've won no major tournament really. I mean, obviously
The
the FA Cup is a
FA
major
Cup
major,
Carabao, sure.
right, sure, but we
And,
know what I'm talking about,
and this is what we
right?
talked about last week, bro. I was like, yo,
And yeah, I didn't even add in the fact that you guys signed Holland. You see what I'm saying? These are all key things that you guys
for
did this
next
season.
year, for next. Well, no, I mean, no. Listen, it's good.
It's
It's for
you.
next year.
Hey,
It's agreed upon, but it's for next year. We'll talk about the summer. We'll talk about the summer. Um, again,
no, no, no. Go
the
ahead
reason I'm
though.
kind of saying this, and I'm not super duper. I'm happy, of course. Don't get it twisted. I'm happy, but I'm more relieved than anything else. That was not a fun game to watch until those 6 minutes of magic. It was actually very similar
It
to.
wasn't fun for you. It wasn't fun for you. For
No, it was
me,
not
it was.
for you. It's probably great. Yeah, for me, dude. And I'm known to get. My girlfriend's actually not here right now, and she's probably happy because I'm known to get very loud um, during these games. And but I was super like, again, I came in with like very little expectation. I'm like, what, everything's sort of aligned for Liverpool. So again, I'm more relieved than I am satisfied, or and
Okay,
maybe it's like
okay.
a little entitled, but no, but
No, yeah, that's. I was just about to say that, bro. You
you have
have
to.
gotten accustomed to winning.
No,
You
exactly.
that you
No,
know.
and as far as that's what I was about to follow up with saying, think about the
Uh,
start of the season. Think about our expectations for the start of the season.
hmm.
This is not a team that we're hoping. No, we were favorites to win the Premier League. We
Yeah,
should have been. We were definitely favorites to win the Carabao. We
yeah.
should have been looking to win the FA Cup, and
Hmm.
we were without question favorites to win the Champions League, especially
Hmm.
when we got to the semis. So I think we've actually underperformed this season, which is ridiculous because we still won, in my opinion, the biggest trophy of the that you can possibly win in football. In my opinion,
Yeah,
I know
right.
people talk about Champions League and all this stuff. I personally think the Premier League is more of an accomplishment, and I think what's funny. I think Chelsea sort of proved that last season, right? That sure the Champions League is incredible,
Hmm. Hmm.
but
Hmm.
what is it really if you're
Hmm.
crap for the next season? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So overall, super happy, but again, more relieved. Much like you, Jay, much like you as a Man U fan, I'm just so glad the season's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really want to get into next season. I really want to see what we can do with these two forwards that we've signed.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
my
mean, 'cause
God,
for everybody, we're not even gonna talk about Man U this episode.
you guys got
There's
lucky,
nothing.
man. You guys got lucky. You got
Even but
lucky.
even with that, I'm watching the City game. I look up and we're down 1-0 to CP in the 80th minute, and I'm just like, yeah,
It
just
was
end it.
yeah. It was a little was a little poetic that Ragnick's first game was against Crystal Palace, if I believe.
I
Um,
think
I think it was. I think
don't
it was
fact check us on
Crystal
that, but yeah.
Palace, and then yeah, um, and they won that game, and they actually looked pretty good. And then last game of the season they play the same team, and they're losing. But again, they're lucky that Brighton got that win over West Ham, or there would have been Conference League, and that'd have been an absolute joke. So yeah, bro. Overall, just absolutely crazy, crazy, crazy day. I mean, unfortunately, Burnley went down, Leeds stayed up, but, whatever. I'm also a little disappointed that Tottenham absolutely rolled Norwich, but that was expected.
Was 5-0?
5-0, and Arsenal won 5-1, but I mean, they choked as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and you said it. You said that they were going to choke, and you were 100% correct on that.
No, yeah, it's the Arsenal way, man. They're just not ready yet, but I am upset because I want to see them in the Champions League, especially this squad that they have.
Yeah, yeah,
They performed pretty well towards the end of the season. We clowned them at the beginning, and then they turned it around. They had some slip ups towards the end, but like I said, they're just not ready yet. Maybe
yeah.
next year they'll get it, but I did want
No,
to see them. I just
I,
tired of
I
Tottenham, bro. I don't want to see them in the Champions League.
really. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, one team was proactive with their manager, the other one wasn't. And Tottenham, they went and got the better manager, um, and I think they kind of deserve it. Again,
But
they also spent in January, and they got the right players in. I mean, at some point you can look at. There's a lot of things you can look at, but again, front office decision making, this stuff matters. And Tottenham are that is literally the reason that Tottenham's playing Champions League next year. So,
um, what are you giving Arteta though this season as a manager? Scale of
um,
1 to 10.
interesting
Because
question.
we clowned him. I said we clowned Arsenal at the beginning. We clowned him. He was a joke with Ali. It was
Hmm.
those two at the
That's a
who was going
great
to get
point.
sacked first.
Yeah,
This
I
is a
forgot about that.
nice full circle. Let's get to it.
Um, well, it really depends on his responsibilities, right? I mean, so he spent 150 million in or something like that in the summer. Bought a bunch of B-level players for the most part. Probably
Yeah.
Odegaard being the best one out of those, but still B-level player. But he bought a bunch of them. Um, and then in January, letting Aubameyang go and not getting anyone else. Never playing Pepe ever again, even though he's one of the most talented players in that team.
It's crazy.
There's a lot. They did have a very they had a very thin squad. They had a very thin squad. The left back Tierney goes down, right back Tomiyasu goes down. Yeah, Partey went down, and then playing El Neni in the midfield. Like, here's what I'll say: I think Arteta's proven that he's a Premier League manager. I'll put it like that. Um, Out of 10, it has to be a 6 or a 7, though, right? I mean, at the end of the day, people talk about, oh, we didn't. No one thought that Arsenal were going to get top four at the start of the season. Cool. No one also predicted that Man U was going to capitulate the way they did. So that spot was open, right? That spot was open, and they were put in a position where with 2 games left, they had it in the bag. It was in their hands, and they sold it. So a lot of that has to be put down to the manager for sure. Um, and the real question is, what do we see next season? We know Newcastle's coming. We know that teams are going to get stronger. I mean, think about a team like Wolves, even like Leicester, even like Brighton, Villa. Like, these teams are serious, bro. And
West
just because
Ham.
yeah, just because West Ham, if Arsenal, just because they're a big name, doesn't mean they're deserving of that top 6 placement. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, bro. I mean, yeah, Arteta probably 6, 7 out of 10, something like that.
I agree with that. I think that's pretty solid. He didn't do any like obviously if he got a Champions League berth, I think he would
Mm.
have a at least 7.58. You got to
Oh
give it
yeah,
to him off
that
that just
in my
because of
opinion,
that.
exactly. There's times where this is more like a results business. If they
Yeah,
got top four, he's a 9 out of 10. You know what I mean? It just is what it is.
right.
But if you don't, then you have to actually evaluate the season just for what it was and not quality. And that's honestly similar with Pep, right? I mean, we look at Pep and we say, okay, what if we didn't win the Premier League? Then you have to be looking at a 5 out of 10 season max. But he won the Premier League, so what do you give him? An 8, or you probably give him like an 8, something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I give Pep this season. I'll give him an 8. I was gonna say 7.5, and I know you said we're gonna talk more about this pretty soon, but just securing that signing, of Holland is
yeah.
crucial, man.
No, let's go.
Especially
Let's
that it
go into it,
happened.
Jay. Let's go into it because again, it's something we talked about pretty much for the whole second half of the season. Where's
Yeah,
this guy going?
yep,
I was pretty confident he was going to go to City just because the fit, you know, just made sense. We needed a striker. We needed a striker like that, and we got him.
yeah.
Now we have two new strikers going into next season. Um, you talk to me about what you think that's going to do for our squad and our success next season.
You ready?
I'm ready, Jay, because I have my opinions, but
This is what comes with being great. All right. I'm speaking to you as a Man United fan. We are the standard. You guys want to be us. We get it. We birthed
what?
you.
I
We
don't think we
birthed
want
you.
to be.
All right, but we'll
Wow.
get back. We'll talk about that later on. But this is what comes with that now, right? You have, if I'm not mistaken, 4 titles in like the last 5 years, something crazy like that. Like Pep is reaching that status. KDB is reaching that status. You guys are signing great players now, right?
We should sign Grealish. I wouldn't say he's a great player, but
But
yeah,
no, but you just got the pivotal
yeah,
signing outside of Mbappe and Holland.
correct.
You just won a Premier League title, right?
Golden State Warriors type
I'm
of deal right now.
I
With Kevin
I'm
Durant.
gonna go out and say that your expectations and pressure coming to next season, if it's not on the same level, it's damn near close, and people are gonna be like, "Wow, that makes no sense." But in my opinion, it does. It's the same as PSG when they came in this season, and I'm saying that because, like I just said, you have dominated your league for the past 5 years now. You've made it to the Champions League the past 2 years. You've been close, and you're right there, but something's missing. You just signed the best striker, in my opinion, in the world right now. You should be winning the Champions League next year. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care what any team does. City just got the piece they needed to fucking win the game, the moment. They just got them. You're giving KDB and Foden the focal point when the goal is going to, like, the ball is going to the goal. Like, that is,
Yeah,
come on. It's simple. It's 1 + 1 = 2. So I just think it's going to get harder for you guys now. Now we're really going to see, what are you guys made of? There's no excuse for Pep to lose games and get smacked. No, I don't want to hear it. You have what you need. You're not putting Sterling at striker anymore now. You're not like, cut it out. You have the guy.
honestly, Jay, I 100% agree with you. I mean, again, I came into this season, bro, with the expectation, you know, not to reach the Champions League final. I had the expectation that we were going to win both the Premier League and the Champions. I had the
And
expectation.
that's crazy. That's ridiculous to have that
So
standard. You feel me?
exactly. So imagine what we have now with two new strikers coming in. And we're not talking about false nines. We're not talking about they could also play on the wing. We're talking about strikers, two strikers. One Holland very familiar with, the other one not from River Plate, not so familiar with, but apparently he's dogging it over there. Jay, this is all we needed. All we needed was a focal point, a guy up front that I mean, the amount of crosses we put in today to nobody. We need a real number 9. And I've been saying this forever. It could have been Danny Ings. It could have been Ronaldo. It could have been my mother. It doesn't matter. We needed a number 9. And we finally got one. And I'm super happy with it, honestly. And that's why I'm looking forward to next season so much because I'm like, man, this team has so much potential. But, who's the pressure really going to be on? Again, I think the players, I think if you look at like a 20-man squad on our team or 18-man squad, I think 16 of them have been fantastic this season. I really, really do. I think, bro, I watch every game. The effort level is there, and that's the only thing I can really ask
So
for.
so let me ask you this: is Holland guaranteed a spot every game, or is he fighting for? So
Yes,
you know how Pep is. Pep will
and
rotate
and
you, but
Pep's the only guy that can mess this up. Bro, like any other manager, they'll just be like, okay, yeah, just go out and play, and yeah, you guys are just too talented to to lose. I
yeah,
think Pep has a real chance of messing this up. I think the big issue. I think that one of the biggest issues that's happened this season is playing players out of position or playing players
exactly.
in uncomfortable positions. I'm hearing a lot that Gundogan's going to leave this summer, um,
Hmm.
which I'm not mad at because we have so many midfielders. Again, I think you slot Jack Grealish into that midfield. I think you're in a better place. That
Yeah,
means you
I
maybe
agree.
need. But more importantly, I think you put Foden in that midfield where he really belongs, and we're in a better place. We have so many midfielders that we're asking the question of. You're asking the question of, does Holland have competition? The reality is, besides the other striker that's coming in, no, he 100% has to start because there's that's like us not having a goalkeeper, and then we bring in a goalkeeper and saying, "Oh, is the goalkeeper going to start?" Of course, he's the only goalkeeper. You know what I mean? So, listen, bro,
Yeah,
we 100% need this guy. I'm not expecting us to score more goals next season. I don't think that's necessarily how the game works, right? I mean, we scored the most goals this season. I believe we scored 96 or something like that without a striker. So that's not how the game works. The game works is very simple. Like, our conversion rates are going to be better. We're going to have more shots on goal. We're going to have better chances. We're going to be able to finish more. That's what happens when you bring in an elite striker. Not necessarily that you get more goals. So with that being said, yeah, the guy's going to start. He's going to be able to just get goals naturally. If you think about how many goals Sterling gets just because he's in the right place at the right time. I think Holland's going to be in a lot of those positions where he doesn't have to be great to get goals. And I think some of the goals that he does get are going to be due to his size and his speed and his strength, um, and his aerial ability, to be honest with you. So yeah, I mean, again, that's what I'm saying, Jay. I'm so looking forward to next season because this potential is really there. The question is, can this manager um, play the style that we need to play, and can we make a couple of changes to the squad, buying players, selling players that are going, like, because we know Fernandinho's going to leave. We needed Fernandinho this season. We really did. We got a bunch of injuries. Are we going to bring in an extra center back? Are we going to address this left back issue? There's a couple questions that, are we going to add another winger? There's a couple questions that we need answered. It's not just buy Holland, we win the league. It's
right.
buy Holland and make sure all the holes are plugged, and then we go win the league.
Yeah, and
So
and no, a lot of teams and clubs will respond by beefing up their squads as well
yeah,
and getting
there's
better.
100%. I mean, let's just go down the list, Jay. I'll bring it up right now. There's no question. If we go down the list, Liverpool, you don't think they're going to get better? Of course, they're going to get better.
Hundred
They're
percent.
they they've been getting better the last three transfer windows.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Chelsea, in my opinion, can't get much worse um, in terms of their consistency, right? I mean, this season, I disappointment, right? I would say disappointment for Chelsea. I see them getting better. Tottenham, Tottenham have a real manager now.
Yeah.
They're forced to get better.
Yeah.
Arsenal, they're going to have a budget this summer. They're going to get better, and they're going to couple guys are going to come back from injury. From injury. Manchester United, they can't get worse. They are 100 new manager. They're going to have a completely different squad. They're going to be better. West Ham probably going to start getting worse over time. Declan
Yeah.
Rice probably going to leave pretty soon. Leicester, they have a potential they're probably going to get rid of Brendan Rodgers and bring in a new manager. So we'll see what happens with them. You look at Brighton, you look at Wolves, you look at Newcastle. These are three teams that are 100% going to get better. Crystal Palace, who I doubted at the start of the season, Vieira has proven
Damn.
me wrong.
Damn.
Proven me wrong. They're going to
Hey,
get
shouts to
better.
them.
Correct,
That's not
100%.
a bad ranking.
Listen, they got 12th, but I mean, I thought they had a chance of being relegated.
Relegated,
Brett,
exactly.
exactly. I mean, Aston Villa in 14th. Aston Villa next season are going to be pushing for top 8, in my opinion. Um, Everton's not going to be as bad as they were. Leeds might sort of bounce back. This is a
Yeah,
this bro.
it's
This is
gonna
one
be
of
a
the
nice
most
one.
difficult leagues that I've ever seen. I mean, we're talking about 16 of those teams being difficult to play against. Honestly, um, so yeah, there's no slacking. This is kind of why when people talk about the whole Arteta thing and them choking, do you think they're going to get top four next season? The competition gets it becomes so much more when a team like Newcastle buys a bunch of players.
Oh,
They're
I mean, I agree 1,000% that this was Arsenal's best shot of
yeah,
getting to the Champions League and making some noise. Just like you just said, it's only going to get tougher. Um, this is somewhat felt like of like a fluke of a season, even though City and Liverpool were dominating, only because like Man United was going through some crazy ass shit, and
Yeah, it was a
Chelsea underperforming pretty bad as well.
yeah.
Um, yeah, just a lot of outliers.
Mhm.
But Arsenal should take advantage of that, and they didn't.
A lot of teams could have. I mean, Tottenham would lose, and United would lose, and then Arsenal would lose, and
Yeah,
it would start all
exactly.
over again. Um, but yeah, bro. Overall, super excited. I mean, I get it. We just won. We should be celebrating, and again, I am. I'm very happy, but it's the potential. It's next season's potential that's got me super excited, Jay. Like and again, much like how you guys wanted to restart and get to the next season, I really do as well. And I think um, if this season was great overall for me, at least this season was fantastic. I
No,
think
I,
next
I,
season
I
has
agree.
it.
I, I,
I It
I think this season was definitely entertaining.
was entertaining. Yeah,
Exciting. Yeah, exactly. Exciting. I got my laughs in, anger, all type of things, bro. You got every type of emotion out of me, which
hmm
I appreciate because that's what I love sports for. It's a roller coaster ride, in a sense. You're always going up and down.
even to the last
Uh,
day.
last day, so I appreciate it. As a United fan, it could have been better. Disappointing in results and just the way that we clicked as a team. People that I thought were leaders aren't leaders. Players who I thought were world class players aren't really world class players. It was a lot of you know uh, just moments I had to just think to myself like, hey, you are wrong, bro. Like a lot of things that you thought and knew as a Man United fan just aren't true.
Jay,
So
Jay, we had like 3 or 4 players this season get arrested. You know what I mean? Like this has been a crazy season,
you
Jay.
see what I'm saying?
Uh,
Like
a player, a player for our team
beyond the game.
in jail for hopefully multiple years to come. A player on your team will be very lucky if he doesn't go to jail. Uh, we know the whole thing with Sigurdsson, and I think there was one
Man,
more, and it's just like
beyond the game, bro. It's just beyond me.
this season had everything: the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yes.
It really did. But you're right, Jade. Like it was a little bit of a fluke this season, and I do think the points totals. If you look at Liverpool, they're 18 points ahead of third place. We were 19 points ahead of third place. I think the points are gonna be a lot more spread out at the top next season for sure. I don't think we're gonna
I'm
roll a bunch
hoping.
of.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, honestly, in terms, obviously I want to win every game, but in terms of entertainment, competition, all that stuff, I wouldn't mind those top 6 teams having around between 75 to 90 points. It'd be interesting. It'd be exciting. Um, and I think dude, I don't think the Premier League in terms of talent has been in a better place. Honestly, I mean,
Wait, so
you,
and I'm glad you just said that. This is perfect. I got a question for you.
yeah,
Something that's been on my mind. At one point, I guess we can all agree, Spain was considered the destination for
yes,
players. You want to take it to the next level, or just get more money, whatever it was. You would go to Spain for that. Is that still the same, or has it changed? Are players going to different countries now? Because you look at it, Mbappe said, I'm not going to Spain. Sorry, Madrid. I'm going to stay at PSG. More bread. Holland said, no, I'm not going to go to Barcelona. No, they want me. I'm going to go to City instead. England. Is it still the same thing? What do you think?
um, well, I mean, a lot of that. Listen, that the whole Real Madrid Barcelona has been that's been people's dreams. Especially people in England that are growing up to be footballers. That their dream is to go over there and play for those massive teams, right? Um, I mean, no, Spain's in a rough spot right now. I mean, Real Madrid's just getting out of it. Barcelona's still in it with the whole money situation. Both of those teams just lost the best players in their history, in Ronaldo and Messi,
Yeah,
um, pretty recently. They're rebuilding right now. Like I don't think I was thinking about it today. I'm like, man, if we lose, I think Phil Foden is going to be like, yo, let me get to Real Madrid real quick. Honestly, I like that's what I said. So I said to myself, I'm like, like these like I still think it's like a destination, like it's a destination thing, like Real Madrid. Like I think people
yeah,
still want to go to Real Madrid. However, I think you're right. I think people are looking at Bayern Munich a lot more, and they're looking at the English clubs a lot more, and they're saying like, hey, This is if I want to prove myself, if I these are some of the best teams in the world. Plus, if you look at Real Madrid, bro, I mean they got like 23 like well known great players in their squad. And
No,
you know,
that's what it is. It's like I mean, I get it. I mean, I know I don't get it. I don't get it. 'Cause if I'm competing at that level, bro, I'm like I love greatness. That's one thing about me. I think you even know that. I really admire like excellence and people just winning, dominating. I appreciate that. But as a player, I'm not going to Madrid. I'm gonna go to Chelsea or somebody and up them even more and build my legacy. Like I'm not gonna jump ship with some other players who are already world class players, like you just said. Like Madrid have 23 players who are well known.
well known. Like
You're
I mean, sure,
competing with that, bro.
and you know, you can make the argument that some of these players are getting older and they're going to sort of the new guard's going to come in for a team like Real Madrid. But even so, again, like they got guys like Hazard and Bale just
Sitting there,
warming the bench. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and
you
that's
got
disrespectful.
you had Marcelo like in a suit and tie, just like sitting next to Ancelotti. It's like this guy used to be known as the best left back in the world.
Bro, I'm glad you just said that. I was watching the game. I think it was the Champions League, bro. And
Had to
and
be,
I
yeah,
remember Cello used to be like one of my favorite players, bro. Like you
yeah,
said, one of the best, right backs in the world, probably the best
yeah,
at his point. Um, bro, like the dude was sitting on the bench, like cracking jokes and
dude.
laughing, and I'm like,
Dude, I know.
yo, like,
Dude, I
like
know.
what is?
I saw it too, dude. He's like talking to Ancelotti like it's all good. Like they're down. Like they need these two goals in the last 5 minutes or whatever the hell it was against us. You know, he's just chilling with Ancelotti. It's like what the like all the like, dude. You got Cruz who can't can barely even run. You got Modric who's like putting in like a mile a game now. It's like, these guys are all done. You know, in the next 3 years for sure. So who takes it over? And honestly,
Good
I'll
point.
be 100% honest here. This is maybe a little bit of a weird take, but also maybe accurate. You know, we talk about Mbappe not going to Real Madrid. We talk about Haaland not going to Real Madrid. Is that due to Benzema's incredible form this season? Because
Uh,
where would those two see themselves being if they're
um,
not gonna replace Vinicius? The right wing is open, but
so I'll give you Holland. I'll give you Holland. Simply because I think he is solely meant to be a number nine. You know, he's meant to be a striker.
yeah,
Um, I don't think he wants to sit on the bench and wait. You know, I wouldn't either. Mbappe, on the other hand, we know he's a number nine. You can also play him on the wing too,
yeah,
and I think he is well enough. He's good enough uh, that when he comes over, like you said, Benzema has kind of prolonged his career a little bit with Madrid and just his greatness. Um, But I think Mbappe definitely could have played with him still, and he's the second best player, arguably the best player on that team if he came. Like
yeah.
I know you said Vinicius is probably gonna have his spot, but Mbappe is better than him, bro. I'm sorry, like I'm taking Mbappe any day over him. You go on the bench, you come in when I say you come in. This is
No, but I mean,
Mbappe. Like, come on, bro.
what
Let's
I
be
think.
real.
Listen, I don't really care who's better, right? I mean, I think they're both rapid. I think they're both dangerous for sure. I mean, sure, we could say Mbappe is a better finisher or something like that. I mean, cool. I'm not sitting here watching every PSG game or every Real Madrid game. I'm just seeing what I see in the Champions League, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, I think if he did go, I mean, I think he play all three of them. You know, in that front line, that would be deadly. You know what I mean? But he's decided to stay. You know, maybe we have to start asking the question: what happens with a guy like Mbappe? I mean, PSG is kind of a joke at this point, right? I mean, they're underperforming. Like, what
he he's
happens?
he's chasing something different, man. And I thought he was different. I thought he wanted that legacy to be great, to be like Cristiano and be like, Messi, but he's taking a different route. I think he's trying to make maybe a brand for himself, a name, which
Sure.
is also great. I'm not trying to, discredit him or like take away from whatever he's doing, but I like winning. And I like winning somewhere where it's important. It means something. You're
I was
playing in a
gonna
farmers league.
I was gonna say, let's say they do win the Champions League. Where else can he go from there? You know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, I told you though, at that point, we talked about it earlier in the season. PSG winning a Champions League means nothing to me. you assembled the Avengers for football,
I still
just
lost.
throwing money left and right, overpriced, overplayed, like I mean, overage players. It was disgusting, bro. Just the way they went about it. So if they won the Champions League and Mbappe got that, it wouldn't mean anything. I'm sorry, like on a sheet looks good. He has one, but we all know the real,
Okay.
bro. You got Messi and Neymar, Sergio Ramos. Like, I mean, I know he's old, but like, come on, bro. You just went and got every
You just
player
got
that
a
won
bunch of
something.
yeah, you got everybody, 100%. So interesting stuff, Jay. I mean, it's so funny we talk about all this stuff. We literally forgot about the Serie A. You know what I mean? Completely forgot about them. The Italian league, dude, it used to be one of my favorite leagues, bro. Like I couldn't even I can't
They
put a
don't
game on.
market the right way, man. I'm sorry, they don't market it the
Well, it's
right
it's
way.
it's it's known to be like a little bit more of a boring technical league, but overall,
Which is
Jay.
not. That's not boring football though. But yeah,
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a fan of the old AC Milan, Inter Milan, 100%. But
Maldini.
Mourinho out here winning conference leagues and stuff. Did he win? Did they win the conference league? I think he won, right? I don't even know.
Yes,
I think
I
he
think
did,
he did.
but yeah. Overall, incredible season. Um, Disappointment at times, happiness at other times. Um, but yeah, I think this season is going to really catapult the Premier League to new heights. I again, I get it. I haven't watched other leagues consistently all season. There's no way these other leagues are doing what Premier League is doing in terms of just excitement, entertainment, branding, and all this stuff. I think
Best
it's
league in
honestly
the world, man.
I think it's fantastic. And with the World Cup coming up at the end of the year, starting next year, it's going to be a great year of football. And obviously, we'll be back doing this for sure. I mean, maybe we'll do a couple episodes during the
Yeah,
summer if
that
any big
we
news
need to.
happens
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
No, I
It'd be
mean,
interesting.
I'm trying to do the whole USA and England. We see you guys in group stage.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that
I
dude,
think
that'll
I
be
think it's gonna be
that's
a
best.
big game.
That's best of rivals. That's best of rivals right there.
You
So
feel
yeah,
me? Like, come on.
that'll be in what? Honestly, that's probably only like 7, 8 months away.
Yeah.
So with that, man, anything else you want to say before we wrap up the 2021-2022 Premier League season?
Nah, man.
Come
Just
on, Real Madrid for next year for next weekend. Come on, Real
actually,
Madrid. Come on,
yeah. I
bro.
want to see. I want to see Benzema get this. You know,
Oh
he
yeah.
deserves it.
I mean, I don't really care too much about Benzema. Just beat Liverpool, bro. Please beat Liverpool. I'd be
Yeah.
stupid.
If they get two Champions Leagues, that's gonna be kind of tough. That's gonna be kind of tough.
That,
I'm not gonna
that is
lie.
tough.
No fluke. No fluke.
Hmm.
But to end it out, I just want to say it's been very, very fun. Um, like I said, just being able to talk about the game with you every weekend and let everybody listen in on what we go through and how we think and stuff. It's been
It's been
pretty
great.
dope.
It's been great, man. It has been great. So with that, I will sign off. Again, you'll probably be seeing us in episodes this summer. We're 100% gonna be doing next season for sure, just all the
Oh
way
yeah,
through. Um, but with that, episode 28, you can find us on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram at the Best of Rivals. But with that, episode 28 from Daniel, from Jay,
we out.
we are out.